And I thought to myself, let's make a video reacting to other people being a little precocious. I don't even know if that's the word I wanted to use. What is up, Fin fans? 1 second. Hey Siri, what does precocious mean? Having developed certain abilities or proclivities to an earlier age than usual. What I wanted to say essentially was you really can't predict or make a I know that's the hot commodity when the schedule comes out. Everyone's like, record prediction. I'm going to predict every game for this team. We haven't even hit OTAs. This is June 1st cuts that could happen. This is more signings that could happen. There's still really good players out there. But injuries is way too soon to make a record prediction. Even when I do my record prediction video the Wednesday before the season starts, to me that's too early. You can't really predict it. But hey, a lot of people did it. We're going to look at ESPN, NFL.com, Fox, Bleacher Report, and I think CBS, and see what they said the Dolphins are going to do this year. And I will be shocked if anyone picks the Dolphins to do anything good. All right. Oh, I think we already did Marcel Louis Jacques. Yeah, I think I already read this one. Bold prediction. Yeah, I already read this one. My apologies. Over under 8.5. He thinks they will. Let's go to this one then. So this is Cynthia Freeland. And she has, so this is the AFC. And she has, well, let's see. You got 1, 2, 3. Who are the division winners? So you got because I want to see what her playoff standing is. I don't think it really, but you got, so they're the number 1 seed, they're number 2 seed, they're number 3 seed. First playoff spot, second playoff spot, third playoff spot. There you go. Dolphins just missed out on the playoffs in her mind. The Finns' season is likely to be determined by 2 interrelated factors: the health of Tua, who has logged just 1 full season in his career, missed 6 games in 2024, and the effectiveness of Miami's rebuilt offensive line with second-year Patrick Paul in a position taking over Armstead, second-round pick, Jonas. If I don't prepare myself to say his name, I mess it up, so I'm just not going to say it. These things will be especially important by week 9, when the Dolphins begin their string of high-profile matchups against powerful defenses versus the Ravens, the Bills, and the Commanders. Again, we could get to a point where those 3 teams don't have good defenses, or their corners are hurt, or their pass rushers are hurt. You don't know. But they have the Dolphins at around 8.3 wins, so they probably think they're going 8-9 again. There's the Jets at 8. You know, the Dolphins aren't in a bad situation. Again, they would just be on the outside of the wild card spot with the Bengals taking the last one. And then it would be the Chargers and the Broncos in your wild card spots. It literally... it says it under it. Again, I'm trying to entertain you guys, so I'm trying to do this quick. So, yeah, there you go. So, Dolphins would be on the cusp on the outside. What else did they have here? Team by team takeaways. AFC East. Let's see. There's our schedule. 3 big takeaways. Early shot at the Bills. Will this help? Who knows? But the Dolphins get the Bills in Buffalo when the weather's still good. If the Finns are going to ever mount a serious challenge in the division, they have to start here. Miami hasn't beaten Buffalo since week 2 of 2022. And especially tough middle stretch. Yes, of course. Divisional wrangles, early and late. Yes. Okay. NFL research notes over the past 3 seasons, the Dolphins have the 4th best home record in the league at 18-7. Got to work on those. What's up? My brain's not working. Got to work on those aways. Tough schedule, easy schedule, top 10 games of 2025. We're just going to look at these real quick. See if the Dolphins end up anywhere. Well, it's interesting. This is a top 10. This is a top 10. This will be interesting. You got a lot of faith in Chicago. We'll see if it pans out. Yes. They got to bounce back from last year. They don't really got a quarterback. Sam Darnold, but yeah, I guess because it's a revenge game. They don't have a quarterback. I don't know why that's in there. But number 1 is this one. I'd have the Bills Ravens at number 1. They don't even have the Bills Ravens on here. Come on. Best revenge games. We'll just look at these real quick. Adam Rank. Is there any Dolphin revenge game? Any Dolphin revenge game? Oh, we got 5 primetime games, but no one gives a crap about us. Top primetime games. Not the Dolphins. Top 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. They're like, hey, Dolphins, kick rocks, man. So this is Fox Sports. AFC East, they have 12-5, 8-9. Wow, they got the Dolphins at 4-13. Let's read this, and then I want to see where that would give us draft pick wise, because I find that to be interesting. Henry McKen. There's plenty of brewing dysfunction in Miami. The Dolphins' best player, Tyreek Hill, is both passively and aggressively working to get traded, which the team is probably happy to do given his involvement in domestic disturbance. But at the risk of sounding salacious, you sound pretentious. Like, I'm not trying to be a butthead, but you kind of sound pretentious by using this word. Give me a break. It's also the lowest point of Hill's career to put him on the trade market. And Chris Greer can't afford to look hasty because he's probably on the hot seat this year. So is Coach Mike McDaniel. If the Dolphins trade Hill, the offense could continue its downward slide. Because even with Tua in the lineup, the 2024 Dolphins didn't look like the NFL fancy new toy. No, they looked like a solid Rubik's Cube, a solved Rubik's Cube. What are you talking about? For the 2025 Dolphins, there are too many points of concern, including those about Tua's health, which I agree with, for me to get excited about the roster. 2024, I feel like these people who kind of cover the NFL in a whole, and that's why I started this channel and I started doing what I'm doing, because you got these people who cover the team, the NFL in a whole, they don't really focus on what they're doing. 2024 was a hot mess express for the offense because the offensive line was garbage. 2023 was better for the first half of the season. I give it first like 3 quarters, give or take, because the offensive line was good and healthy. Perspective. But let's see. We go 4-13, right? Let's see if anyone has a worse record. Okay, well, so we tie with Cleveland. Okay. Dolphins and Cleveland. Okay, Dolphins and Cleveland. Still Dolphins and Cleveland. Still Dolphins and Cleveland. He thinks the Dolphins are going to have a worse record than the New York Giants. Dolphins and Cleveland, he think, are in the same situation. Remember that. Still Dolphins and Cleveland. Dolphins, Cleveland, and Saints. So he thinks the Dolphins are as bad as Cleveland Browns and the Saints, who don't have a quarterback. So the Dolphins, the Cleveland Browns, and New Orleans Saints would be the number 3 teams to vie for the number 1 overall pick, and it would come down to what the strength of schedule will be at the end of the year. It just let's go to Bleacher Report. and we will look at where they have the Dolphins. Scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and how you doing? Scrolling. I remember back in the day, you go to JK and then boom, it'd be Miami Dolphins. Now it's Las Vegas Raiders, and it's Los Angeles Chargers, and it's Los Angeles Rams, and then it's Miami Dolphins. Look at that beautiful boy. 8 and 9. No, 7 and 10. They have us going worse. Low expectations. I love it. I don't want to have high expectations from these people because last year we had high expectations. They're going to take over the division, and we sucked. Quarterback Tua Tagovailoa has played through a full season once in 5 years, which is something you have to bake into the Dolphins win-loss projection. Last year, the Dolphins went 2-4 without Tua in the lineup, averaged 13.3 points in a game. If Tua goes down, Miami needs to get a ground attack and defense to shorten games in a physical manner. Don't disagree with that. Running back Devon Achane, Jalen Wright, and rookie Ollie Gordon II could be an impressive trio behind a revamped offensive line with James Daniels and second-round pick Jonah. However, the Dolphins have major question marks in the secondary. I agree with that. The Dolphins are entertaining trade offers for cornerback Jalen Ramsey, and they have 2 career backups in Afatu Melifonwu and Ashton Davis at safety. Edge rusher Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb must find their groove, returning from significant injuries. Miami will be vulnerable to high-powered aerial attacks. I agree with that. Even more concerning is if Tua misses time, Zach Wilson isn't equipped to salvage the passing attack. Mike McDaniel's job security will be at the forefront of discussions in Miami at the end of the year. I don't disagree with anything he just said. Kind of nailed it on the head, if you ask me. So 7 and 10, okay. Your explanation is pretty spot on. Who wrote this? I want to give him kudos. Who wrote this? Bleacher Report. It was Mo Martin. Maton? Mo, tip my cap to you. Unbiased, very good take. Now let's go to USA Today for Jacob Kemiker. So he has the Dolphins were hoping to win their first playoff game under Mike McDaniel in 2024. Got off to a slow start. Bills too. However, the Dolphins only finished 8 and 9. Miami's hoping to get back in the winning in 2025. That won't necessarily happen because we don't have Teron Armstead, Holland, Ramsey is going to be gone, and Tyreek Hill, blah, 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 blah. You can read that. The good news for the Dolphins, they have an easier than average schedule in 2025. Here's a look at who they're setting up to take on. That's who we're playing. He has us going 7 and 10. So it seems like the average for the Dolphins is around 8 to 7 wins. The Dolphins are polarizing team on one hand. They had the offensive power needed to be competitive in many games. Hill and Jalen Waddle represent the best wide receiver duo in the NFL, while Devon Achane is explosive threat out of the backfield. The Dolphins are also playing the 9th easiest schedule in 2025 per Sharp Football Analyst. They should give them enough winnable games to keep them in the wild card hunt. On the other hand, Miami's secondary looks shaky with Ramsey future and Holland now with the Giants. And I know that's not what it says, but I'm phrasing and trying to get through this quick so you don't sit here and listen to me read to you like a butt. They may lead their defense with their 9th ranked EPA last season to take a step back. Dolphins are also remain 1-2 injury away from relying on Zach Wilson and Quinn Ewers at quarterback. While the same can be said of the downgrading between most NFL stars and their backups, a few have the same injury history as Tua, who endured concussion problems throughout his career. That includes one that caused him to miss 4 games last season. It's iffy too. That to me, that was an NFL image thing. Given the volatility, whatever, and the fact that the Dolphins have a tough game schedule with games against the Bengals, Bills, Bucks, Chargers. Chargers are 2-1 against the Dolphins, and Ravens on the dock. Miami might not be able to claw their way back from 500 in 2025. Below is a list of Miami's opponents of the upcoming season. Cool. Yeah, not wrong. The only one that was like talking out of his butt was this guy having us go 4 and 10, 4 and 13, 4 and 10. No, he's the only one that I completely disagree with. Everyone else, I'm like, yeah, sure. I think Marcel Louis-Jacques has bigger hope and aspirations for this team. Bold prediction: the Dolphins will finish with a winning record on the road. But a lot of people have us roughly around 7 wins. Will the Dolphins be at 7 wins? Will they? What team will we have trotting out on the field? And if you notice, and this is why I talk about, it's too early to do this stuff. You don't know what the trade is going to be like for Jalen Ramsey. You don't know if we are able to acquire a corner. You don't know if a corner steps up. You don't know. We don't know anything. So right now you look at the Miami Dolphins without them playing, without them doing OTAs or mini camp or training camp or preseason or nothing. You look into the Dolphins and you're like, that secondary is terrifying and Tua can't stay healthy. 7 wins. And I don't disagree with that. But a lot can change. A lot can change. So comment below. Let me know. Do you think some of these people are like me a little too much? But comment below. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you in the next one. You know I got a video planned for you guys. But like usual, stay classy. FN's out.